Greetings and salutations. Welcome to part 2 of the 7th session of the Battle of Smalls. Well, sheep happens. Back to our GM, Sirot.
Okay. The guy's been regaling you with all these, for lack of a better term, shaggy wolf stories. As you continue to walk towards town, and town is being very generous. This is kind of a hole in the world. It's not run down by any means. These people look like they have, a decent amount of wealth, but not huge amounts of it. But it looks like they're doing okay for themselves.
Yeah.
You also notice that it's fairly empty out on the streets. A lot more empty than you'd expect a place like this to be in the middle of a weekday. You kind of expect trade and other things to be going on in the middle of town, but just a couple kids playing with marbles and playing with sticks and hoops and all that, just kind of rollicking around. But you do notice that the inn, which as your guide said is the largest building in town, is kind of bustling with activity at the moment.
Well, looks like that's our first stop.
Okasan is going to use the restroom.
Have fun.
Do not take too long, Okasan. Friend Okasan. You will miss the fun when the time comes.
And this, like I said, this is very much a rural farming and ranching community. You can tell that the majority of their money is made off of sheep and wheat.
One question.
My God, we're in Oklahoma, except sheep.
You're in New Zealand. You're in sheep land.
Quick question. I basically bathrooms in this place, basically
outhouses.
Oh, that's good, because it may be in this case, they have buckets and bedpans that are basically throw out the window.
No, they have outhouses near the fields and such, where they keep the sheep and the chickens and all that.
I was expecting it was going to be just a bush.
Nah, like I said, they're doing okay for themselves money-wise. They can afford some amenities.
That reminds me, I need to look up if there are rules for dog people later, but that's a problem for future me.
So, what do you do?
I look around to see who's in the inn.
You look in the inn, and it's basically looks like a town meeting is going on.
Well, we listen in. At least I do.
Tiny is following Magpie's lead and just trying to shuffle over to somewhere maybe won't cause any problems.
Aronace is also following her lead, as usual.
Okay, so you can tell this place has been around a very long time and seen many, many additions and renovations to it as you walk in. You can tell, there's different types of wood along every single wall, based on what they could get their hands on when they decided to expand this place. You can also tell there are a few floors to it. And near the main door, it looks like your standard inn. You have all your tables scattered around. You have your bar over on one side. You have your stairs leading up that go into presumably like rooms and such that people would rent out. But off on the other side of the main floor, a bunch of benches are set up, and you've got a couple of people sitting behind a big table up there, kind of arguing with each other.
First, we get a better listen.
They're not exactly making it hard to hear. They're trying to project to sway the crowd one way or the other. And the main thing they're arguing about is whether or not they should stop even trying to make any exports until they can get the wolves dealt with. Because apparently there are some people that aren't doing so great that still need to make some money. So you got one group kind of weighing in. It's like, well, let's give them a loan and they can pay it off later, and all this. It's like, no, we need to keep trying business as usual. We can't let the wolves beat us, etc., etc., etc.
So basically, it's a big mess.
Yeah, basically it's a big mess, and you've got a few people. And you managed to catch that there's a halfling up there that you managed to catch. His name is Tillis. And the other guy, oh, thank you, book, for making me look up his actual first name. Another guy named Johann, and Tillis is kind of wearing like a typical shepherd's outfit.
Okay.
While Johann is wearing kind of more robes.
So Johann is like a priest or something.
He could be the dude.
Roll me just a straight wisdom.
Okay. That's one of her better stats. Let's see. 14 plus 17.
Okay, that's enough. You can deduce that the dude in the robes is the brother of the sorcerer that went missing, based on the description that was given to you as you came up.
Okay. Well, that's one of our guys.
And Tillis, you don't know much about him because his name hasn't really been brought up. But those are the two that are kind of going back and forth, and they are getting kind of heated about it all.
I look at Tiny and anyone else who followed me in. Should we stop these?
I will back any choice of action you will choose.
Oh, thank you, Tiny. She's blushing a little bit. What do you think, Yuki? Should we stop this?
I'm kind of curious to see where it goes first. You guys can go ahead, though.
I'm afraid fisticuffs is the problem.
Remind me.
Still in the bathroom until my significant sense tingles.
Remind me, does Yuki play the bagpipes?
Yes.
Tanya has an idea.
She could play the lyre, the drum, and the bagpipes.
Oh, what's your idea, Tiny?
It seems they're rather heated and getting nowhere. Maybe a sudden.
And you can also kind of tell that the people watching are also starting to take sides. Unfortunately, they are also starting to take sides against the person next to them as well, in most cases. And you've got those people they're just now starting into hushed whispering arguments in the seats.
Hell, yeah, we might need to stop this. What's your idea, Tiny?
Because of the distraction with Yuki's loudest instruments.
Yuki, hit it!
Yuki, break out the bagpipes.
Play the loudest song you know!
Give me a performance check.
Let's see here.
Can you play Run for the Hills on the bagpipes?
Yes, 17.
17, okay.
El Pudding
Instead of-
Diablo hears his cue and comes running in.
Is he coming in through the doors and diving through the window?
He busts in through a window.
Okay,
Well, perfect
the-
timing, Puddin'.
with the first squawk of the bagpipes, because instead of just breaking into your song, you let loose one of the loudest, most obnoxious notes you know just to start with, just because it's annoying. And then Okasan busts in, which causes the entire inn to stop exactly what they're doing and turn and look at you as if they just seen a ghost walk in.
No.
Okay?
Hi.
They're all very
Buenos-
surprised.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow us to introduce ourselves. We're here on
Just
behalf of the...
who in the hell do you think you are to interrupt our meeting?
The
Buenos
people are gonna
dias.
get rid of your wolves, and you must be the priest. Don't ever yell
Actually,
at
it's
me
the
in
halfling
Spanish.
that yelled at you.
Oh, is it?
Tillis was one that yelled at you.
Apologies, Tillis. Lucky for you, I like halflings. I'm saying this to him in halfling, by the way. The name's Magpie. We're from the guild, and we're here to help.
As soon as you mentioned the guild, his face was already red to begin with. His face had become redder with your interruption, because it's like you interrupted him in one of his grand speeches, that he thinks anyway. So as soon as you
that
look
grand.
at the guild, you see all the tension in his face, and he goes, "The guild! You're finally here! Oh, thank the maker! We thought you guys would never get here. I assume you're here because of a little wolf problem."
That's exactly why we're here. We ran into a few of them and were able to save a few of your sheep. Unfortunately, they still got 3. We apologize.
Oh, 3. That's nothing. Nothing. Okay. Lenore! Around for our heroes here. And
Now
you
let's
see
introduce ourselves. The bird that popped through the window is El Diablo, our best pugilist. This is Yuki, our best bard. This is Tiny.
Yo.
This is Aramaeus, and I am Magpie.
So
Jifrost
everybody
somewhere
give me
is glaring.
everybody give me a perception check.
I almost rolled an M&M.
Okay.
M&M.
I don't know how much it's been going through, but Airways is not having a good time between everyone yelling at each other and Yuki playing an obnoxious tone on the bagpipes. They're kind of freaking out because there's so much going on. So would I have disadvantage?
You probably would need if you're withdrawing kind of and not paying attention to the crowd, don't make the check.
Okay.
El Pudin Diablo got a 6 on perception.
I got 19.
I got an unnatural 20.
Okay. So all of you that rolled above a 14, I'll just tell you where the cutoff was. What you notice is that the crowd is kind of split on their opinion of you, despite how friendly Tillis now seems. Most of the general population's like, "Oh, the heroes are here. They're going to solve our problems." And meanwhile, the guys that actually look like they run the flocks, the guys that actually look like the shepherds, are just kind of giving you a very watchful, wary eye.
Magpie is more concerned about the shepherds, obviously, because they're the ones he's here to help. It's like, we saw what the wolves do out there in the fields when we came here. I'm very sorry. If there's anything you can tell us, please let us know. We need all the information we can to stop this.
Like, well, if you've actually seen the wolves in action, then you probably know just about as much as we do. The only things we really can tell you is that most of what you've seen, yeah, believe your eyes.
Oh, I believe it all right.
It's been the wolves have been exceptionally crafty and managed to get people out of the way through trickery and deceit instead of just outright hostility. They've been able to, distract people and keep them busy while their friends, other wolves come in and drive off entire flocks of chickens and sheep, even the pigs and the cattle.
Chickens. So they've been going after all your livestock, not just the sheep.
Yeah, yes, they have.
And let me guess, when they carry them off, if you see them carry them off, those animals are still alive.
Yeah, you've got it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw with the sheep. But this is actually more concerning if it's not just sheep, but any kind of livestock.
And not just that, we heard about the leather stealing too.
Yeah, that was something we really, it's like...
And the lock picking.
Yeah, the lock picking, they've gotten exceptionally good at that. We don't know how.
And the human voices in the forest that have no source.
Yeah.
Believe me, we believe every word of this because what we saw out there was strange.
So, have you heard about what happened about a month ago?
Yes, we are actually here to talk to them as well as talk to because we also know the odd happening that happened before this all started. Your sorcerer went missing, correct?
Yes, Johan's
And
brother.
yes, I was gonna say I'd like to talk to the priest too, and I ain't here for a confession.
Yeah,
Because
we don't know exactly what's going on, but it just
noting that thunder and fire were involved in what happened to poor Rockfit to your friend.
I don't know if I would trust his words. He's been a little
Well,
muddled since it all began.
you haven't met our other friend Okusan, who's currently in the bathroom. You want to know muddled? Talk to him.
I am sure your friend Okasan is a perfectly sane and rational individual.
I'm sorry. No.
But
Oh.
you have heard, and you have heard that you have heard of poor Featherrock.
Yes. We'd like to
If you
talk
would
to him
like to
too.
talk to him, if you would like to talk to him, he's upstairs, second room on the left. But I do implore you to go gentle with him, as he is very unbalanced mentally right now.
Oh, of course. Poor guy. So Magpie and whoever else wants to follow her will go up to talk to Featherrock first. She will ask somebody to stay down with Johan and talk to him as well and get information.
Who else of the group do we trust to get any information down to Johan?
Probably Tiny, unless Tiny's going to follow Magpie.
I mean, El Pudin Diablo can potentially have a massive bonus to persuasion.
Tiny's actually thinking of just staying close to Aramia's. Noticing they're not doing too well with the situation.
Yeah, they've kind of been
sitting
down since Yuki started blowing her bagpipes.
Magpie probably goes to the person getting around. It's like, can you get something calming? You're sitting after the bagpipe thing, so before Magpie goes up, she'll, can you get like some tea or something for my friend Aramea? She's not doing too hot.
Of course. Which one is Arnes?
I point to the tiefling. I point to her.
Them.
Oh, them. Sorry.
You're fine.
It's okay. Just be very careful with poor Featherrock up there. I love it. Leonor, would you kindly see to the young one here and see if they would like some refreshments while they wait for their friends? And the dwarf barkeep trots out from behind the bar and approaches you, Arnes. He goes, "Would you like anything to eat or drink?"
Do you have any tea?
Of course we have some tea. Also got a nice secluded spot over at the end of the bar for you. You look like you're a little overwhelmed.
Yes. Please, I would like that
very much. Just go sit down. If you'll just go sit down over there, I'll go get you some. Do you like your tea sweet, or how do you like your tea?
I usually prefer unsweetened.
Sweetened? Okay, that'll be easy then. And Leonor directs you over to the end of the bar where it's not specifically darker, but it's kind of just up next to the wall, so you have your back up against the wall. It's about as close as you're going to get to a private spot in this room.
Yeah.
And she brings you over just a kind of standard, a standard mug with a pitcher of tea. And goes, "Just let me know if you need anything. I'll be over here." And she walks
Right.
off to go tend to the rest of the bar.
Thank you. Meanwhile,
Thank you.
Magpie's heading up to Feather Rock's room, and if anyone wants to follow her, let her know now.
I am going to go talk to Johan, I think.
Good luck.
Her name's a saying, but
Okay. So is it just Magpie that's going up to talk to Feather Rock?
Seeing
Mm.
Amaya's being put into a private location as such, Tiny gives a nod to Yuki and Pudding, and we'll join Magpie.
Okay, so Yuki will stay down here and deal with things down below.
Okay. We'll deal with Feather Rock's scene first here.
Okay.
Because
Magpie.
you will be waiting for a bit to get Johan's attention, as he's got a bunch of other people that he's talking to at the moment.
Okay.
So
So Yuki, you will stay by with Hermes and just play her liar to try and calm them down.
Magpie carefully opens the door to Feather Rock's room. Hello? Hello? Mr. Feather Rock?
yeah. Who's there?
Howdy. My name's Magpie, and this is my friend Tiny, and we heard about what happened to you, sir, and we want to help.
You want to help? There's no help for this. No one believes me. No one believes me.
Well, I'm gonna be honest.
It happened. It happened. I swear it did. You've got to believe me.
Well, tell us your story.
And as you take a look around the room, it's pretty much a standard inn room. It's got a nice dresser, even got a fresh bouquet of flowers, in a vase on top of the dresser. The bed's a nice bed, except it does look a little soiled, because this guy's been basically sleeping in his full clothes. His face is just ashen, basically, at this part. His left arm and his right leg are pretty heavily bandaged up, almost to the point of being in a cast.
Oh yeah, he's pretty badly hurt.
And you can kind of see that the bed he's just been sweating through his clothes into this bed since, for who knows how long he's actually been up here. It looks like they've tried to keep the place fresh, but you can still kind of smell the fact that he's been sweating in his clothes for at least the past day.
So it's smelling rather ripe in here.
A little bit, yeah.
But it's understandable, so tell us what happened.
Okay. But you're not going to believe me. No one believes me. But I
So,
swear this happened.
so in the guild we deal with many strange things. We have no reason to disbelieve you.
Not to
Look,
mention the stories we've been hearing about the wolves themselves. I'm pretty sure anything's possible.
I was out there with the other 11 of us, and it's kind of hazy after
I can
a little
imagine.
bit, because what happened is we got ambushed by about 14 wolves. And the thing that just, one of them opened their mouths, howled, and I got hit by lightning.
Does he look like he has any visible, lightning or burn scars on him?
You can't tell because there's enough padding on him, you couldn't tell. And he's obviously not wearing the same clothes he was wearing.
So I can't tell, but something in me does believe him.
Yeah, and the lightning, it basically, it was really hard to see after that, because the rest of the group panicked once it got really, really hot. The rest of the group panicked, and as they ran, they kind of trampled over me, and I kind of lost consciousness while I was out there, but I woke up and I still couldn't see. It was I don't know. I might have been blindfolded. But I opened my eyes and I couldn't see anything, but all I know is something had a strong grip on my ankle and was dragging me along.
Back to
And-
the town.
And they were arguing. It's like they were arguing over whether they wanted to eat me.
Who were arguing?
The
I
wolf?
don't know. I was blindfolded. It was two voices as they drug me around.
Hmm.
Could you tell
And
how
the
you've
next-
been held?
The next thing I remember, as I was dragging along, I was about to say something, and then my head hit a rock and I passed out again.
Ouch.
But I swear, the voices were rough, like people that smoke nonstop.
Noting that somebody mentioned that somebody heard a human-like voice but didn't find anything that could make a human-like voice, I believe you. I 100% pure and simple believe you there, Featherrock.
Just believe me. And then he starts crying and curls up into the fetal position.
Magpie tries to comfort him, like, I believe you. This isn't normal. This is dangerous. This is bad. Featherrock, you poor thing.
And at this point, he's stopped hearing you.
We're probably the first ones to believe him.
Magpie, I think we're done here.
Thing. We gotta take care of those wolves, Tiny, before somebody else gets hurt like Featherrock did.
Of course, this has to end. No more people are going to get hurt.
Agreed. No one's gonna get dragged around.
Also, just keep in mind that he is here. So whatever happened to him, he ended up back in town.
That's why Magpie thinks maybe they dragged him back to town eventually, because she has a feeling there was no way he was walking back home.
So,
But he's badly hurt, and he's scared. That's legit fear, and she saw it.
so now, that scene is basically over. Back at Johann.
My internet died. My Wi-Fi's terrible. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Been having that problem a little bit too, don't worry.
It's the damn frogs. It's the damn heaven frogs are eating the internet.
Oy vey.
So anyway, now we're over at Johann, and he seems to have finally managed to get through a line of people waiting to talk to him.
Buenos dias, padre.
And who would you be?
I am El Pudin Diablo, Feast of Justice.
Apparently, Johann didn't pay attention when Magpie introduced everyone. He's rude.
He was too busy yelling.
I
He's
have
like, "Oh,
heard.
I am Father Merrickson. I am the local priest of this place. Follow the god Pelor. What can I do for you? I understand. Oh yes, you are the group of adventurers sent here to deal with the wolves, are you not?
I have come independently, but yes, I have come to help with the wolves. But I hear you have a brother, perhaps?
You see him kind of grimace when you say that. It's like, well, I might still have a brother. I don't know. He disappeared about 3 months ago. Went out for a walk, and we just never saw him again.
What
He was our... Pardon?
What can you tell me about your brother?
Well, he was a good man. I mean, of course, I'm going to say he was a good man. He was my brother, but he did his best to keep this town safe with his magical ability. Although his magical ability could be maybe a tiny bit chaotic at times.
And there it is.
Unfortunately, he was a bit. Unfortunately, his magic is a bit cursed. I prefer to say is at the moment. But, every now and then it went slightly astray, but it worked. He managed to keep it under control for as long as I'd known him.
Anything specific was that his magic did?
Mostly made extra plants grow. It was weird.
Hmm. Did anything unusual happen prior to his disappearance?
Nothing we can figure out. We've asked around and nobody sensed anything, especially from the wolves. But he went out for a constitutional one day and just never returned. And shortly after that, the wolves managed to apparently learn tactics.
What was he? Was he working on anything before he went on this constitutional?
Not to my knowledge. He was just simply. It was just an ordinary day. He'd gone around, refreshed the wards that maybe you saw along the sides of the forest to keep the trees from encroaching, and
Do the trees grow rapidly here?
they tended to, yes, and a side effect of his magic was that they grew a little more faster than normal. So that's why he kept the runes up.
Where did your brother dwell in this town?
Do you see? You probably have not examined the town too closely yet. He dwelt within our church.
Ah, so not terribly far from you then.
No, it's only about 50 feet northward from here.
Was there anything unusual going on with him beforehand? Was there anything worrying him?
No, not that he spoke to me of. He did not seem unusually troubled by anything at any point in time. I mean, he had the usual worries of one that takes up his role. He worried that some of these stronger monsters may overwhelm him at times, but that's a typical worry among protection sorcerers.
What other type of monsters are there out in this area?
Oh, we have the wolves, of course. We've had a few bugbears that came through at one point in time. Those were less of a problem because they were more worried about staying hidden, and they really did not wish to fight people because they did not have many numbers. We had a few goblins, few hobgoblins, just things you will find in most places. We're fairly remote, so every now and then we would get... I don't know if you noticed, but in the far-off distance, as far as the eye sees, there are some snow-capped mountains. So we had a Yeti once come down. That was an exciting day.
Ah, yes. I hope you had many custard pies ready for that eventuality.
If by custard pie you mean fireball, yes, we had many of those.
No! Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you, Lantern!
It's just creatures that you would normally see out in the wilderness around forest or maybe some snowy areas.
Can you show us the place where your brother dwells?
Yes, well, we can. Like I said, it is only about 50 feet up the road north. It is just a very simple church, and he starts walking out the door and motioning you to follow him.
I follow along.
I mean, I check on Aramneus first before planning to move out.
Tiny returned yet?
I mean, you guys would be walking down the stairs about this point.
We'll follow him too. Aramis, you gonna be okay on your own?
I think I'd prefer to be alone right now, actually.
All right, come get us if you need anything, okay, sweetheart?
Okay, thank you.
We won't be far.
It will be about 50 feet up the road that way if you need us. We'll be up there for a bit, and we'll come back here after. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure in the meantime, Diablo filled me and Tiny in on what Father says. Like, so Magpie kind of looks like, did you and your brother get along?
Oh, yes, we got along very well.
Insight check.
If you want to roll insight, you can.
The 16.
Okay, you can tell there's something he's leaving out, but you don't think he's leaving it out of malice. More like it's not something he would think to be relevant.
So you're saying you both got along well. Did he believe in the same God you did, by any chance?
Well, he did. He did allow me to preach right next to where he slept most of the time of the wonders of the god Pelor.
This is out of character. The god Pelor is
It's a good aligned nature god, basically, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
I think it was a sun god, but I'm hella rusty.
Could be sun, yes.
Okay.
But it's basically a good aligned god.
Okay, so, but did he pray to Pelor is what I'm asking? Because just because you can preach next to someone doesn't mean they believe the same thing.
You're asking. No, he was not a worshipper, but it was not his way. There are many gods and goddesses in this world.
I'm
Which
aware.
way is the right one?
I prefer to say it.
We all must follow the path we believe, and he had his magic that was his god, so to speak.
Where? Oh, Puddin mentioned that you said his magic was chaotic and cursed. What do you mean by that? That's a little odd to say about your own town sorcerer.
Oh well, I've always called it cursed to tease him. Sometimes he would attempt to cast a thing, and unintended side effects would happen.
Are you the elder or the younger brother?
I am about 10 years older than he was.
And you said he went for a walk. Did you call his magic curse that day or something, or just teased him a little bit?
No, he took it in good stride. I mean, he was the one that began calling his magic curse to begin with, and I just kind of kept up the joke.
Here's the thing. Sometimes a joke can run a little too long and get on the nerves of even the one who originally told it. You'll forgive me, but he may not have been taking it in stride as much as you thought.
I will have to think on this, but I do not believe that he would have taken it to heart. At least not without telling me. He was not very reserved in letting his opinions be known.
I see. You can kind of tell, like, Magpie's thinking, okay, I don't have siblings, but I think I know where this went.
But you can tell he's honestly does not believe that he honestly believes that he was causing absolutely no problems with the teasing of calling the magic cursed.
If Magpie isn't so sure, like, he may not realize it, but she's like, oh, that's something to think about. So, let's see where this guy slept. Maybe he kept a diary or something. We can get more insight into who this person was, because I think his disappearance is connected to the wolves.
You finally arrive at basically the chapel and the church. It looks pretty much like you'd expect a church to look. You have the little pedestal at the front that the guy's going to stand behind and make his sermons. You have the rows of pews so people can sit in relative comfort and watch. And off to the side, there are a few rooms behind some doors. And Father Merrickson walks over to one of the rooms, the furthest one towards the front on the right side. Unlocks it with his key, opens it up, and says, "This is where he tended to sleep, although he did not spend a lot of time in this room. This was mostly just where he caught his rest and refreshed himself to continue to protect our little village."
Where did he spend a lot of time?
He spent a lot of time among the people, learning what their problems were and finding out ways he could help. He was very much active. Before the magic came to him, he and I were actually very successful shepherds. But then the magic came to him, and I found my calling as a priest. And we started to serve the communities in our own ways.
Well, time to search around the room.
Okay, I'm not even gonna make you. I'm not even gonna make you make an investigation check, because, like I said, you didn't spend a lot of time here. But there were basic sets of loose. You open up the closet and find the basic sets of loose-fitting robes. You find a couple of walking sticks that are entirely mundane. And you see his bed had I say it had been recently slept in, but it had been slept in before he left, and he hadn't bothered to make it up that day, so the sheets were all disarrayed. There is a plate and a cup that shows some signs of having been used, and then just kind of the food is crumbs and remnants of the drink were still left behind. So there's entirely nothing spectacular about this room. The guy did have a very small selection of books, but no journals.
Anything stick out about the books in particular?
Yeah.
This, I will make you roll a investigation check.
I'm gonna check out the books too.
Someone smarter than Okasan investigate these, for the love of God.
Yeah, well, I got a 22. I got a 22.
I got a 1.
You looked at the completely wrong wall.
These are books.
He's reading it upside down.
Check to see if they were books or not. But anyway, now, what you've determined by looking at the books is they're all books from the same author, and they are all books detailing ways to contain wild magic.
So this kind of makes sense. Does anything seem off?
Define off.
Like, maybe it doesn't fit, or it's the wrong way around, or...
No, nothing. The books are just kind of lined up in the shelf. There would, no bookends there, so just one of the end is fallen over.
I get a feeling we're not going to find Mott's pursuing the books because our resident spellcaster isn't here.
Literally, the resident spellcaster is not here.
Well, the resident. I am talking about Tedlin.
I know you are.
Because Tedlin.
Star, what's your Arcana stat?
Let me see here. That would be a +4.
If you want to know if you can determine anything specific about it, the only thing you can gather with the earlier roll of the 22
Mhm.
is that he might have been having difficulty controlling flare-ups under moments of stress.
Hmm. I'm gonna find Father Johann again.
I mean, he's right there, so.
But had there been anything specific worrying your brother lately?
No more than what we've already discussed. I mean, the Yeti attack was a little bit much for him, so he worried that he might not be able to defend us if more than one Yeti came down, but we started to send out some scouts in that direction to make sure that we were never caught by surprise like that again. But just when rather large beasts decided to set sight on the village, he was always worried at the start that he would not be enough, because one man versus what most consider abominations. Well, but we would always back him up as best we can with our bows, and because we do not have trained fighters here. The trained fighters we've tried to hire for this area tend to get bored very quickly and go to seek more fame or coin from other more lively places.
Any specific groups that came through here?
Yeah, none of any consequence. Just random mercenaries would wander through and see the potential for a steady coin purse, but
Question.
would not stick around after they got bored.
I have an more of a observation question. This place has a bed and like a dresser and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Magpie's gonna start doing a little digging because she has a sneaking suspicion of something. So she's actually going to investigate the room despite how small it is.
Okay.
And because of how small it is, Tiny has been waiting outside because only a lot of people in there.
Unnatural 20.
Okay, what were you looking at?
I was basically just going through the room in general to see if there were any hidden spots, or maybe something hidden in a drawer, under the mattress, or under the bed.
You find nothing.
Okay, so the room is completely clean. Yeah, this is something Magpie would do. She's not gonna think like, oh, this person didn't spend a lot of time. He's like, I'm still gonna look because he could have had a diary or something. Did your brother have like any spots he liked to hang out in besides this room, since this wasn't usually used for anything but getting dressed and sleeping?
Well, I mean, he spent about as much time as the average person over at the tavern.
Did he have a special room?
No, he didn't even have a standard table he would sit at. He would just sit at whatever was open, call for his ale, and call for his pie, and after he'd eat, he'd generally get a good night's sleep to begin his rounds again the next day.
Okay. Did he spend time anywhere else? Like any specific spot in town, like the town square maybe, or maybe a hidden spot nearby?
Did he spend time with any specific person?
That too. Not a bad thought there, Puddin'.
He did not tend to favor any one person over any others. Not that I was aware of.
No significant other, no girlfriend, boyfriend, SO of any kind, or best friend, or anything?
Not really. He kind of worried that if he formed stronger attachments with one person than another. It might make him hesitate to act in certain situations. I always chided him a bit for not seeking more significant relationships to, for his own personal, well-being, but he said he was happy the way he was, so not much I could do about that.
You spent a lot of time maybe near the sheep or any other livestock?
And no more than you would expect him to spend checking on his protective runes and all that. He would every now and then he would inspect the sheep to see if they'd been taken by disease or anything of the kind, but no, nothing stands out in my mind.
Are still like renewed, or how often did they have to get freshened up?
About once a week.
So they haven't.
It's been a while, so his runes have not. The major protective runes have kind of fallen, but the ones keeping the forest out seem to be extra sturdy, and we don't know why.
Now the forest keeps protected, but the rest are weakening.
So that may mean the sorcerer's still alive and still cares about the town. What the heck is going on?
Why the forest of all things?
Perhaps it is time for us to investigate the forest.
Hmm.
We may have to.
Tiny leans in for the doorway. They did say that Featherstone and the others were ambushed on their way to the wolf dens, I believe they remarked about. Probably find the source of the issues this place is facing there.
That might be our best lead right now.
I hate to push you all along, but if you guys are done in this room, I'd kind of like to leave it and lock the door behind me again.
See, I think we can leave this room for now.
Thank you. It's not a pleasant thing being in the man's room, and I don't know whether he's alive or dead.
It is very hard when the one you care about is missing.
So unless you have any more questions, you might be able to get some more information out of Coral. One of the shepherds that was sitting in the pews meeting. He's kind of the guy to go to if you want to know what paths you might be able to get through the woods.
Gracias, Padre. I think we shall talk to him.
Not a bad idea. Oh, dumb question to everyone who's with me. What kind of shenanigans do you think is going on here? Because this is getting weirder by the second.
I am not terribly familiar with the mechanics of magic, but perhaps something happened with the sorcerer's magic that went awry.
And if it was a time of great stress, maybe my theory about him getting a little sick of that joke might be right. What do you think, Tiny?
I'm unsure. It could simply be an unfortunate turn of events that's awoke something in the forest, something that's been taking his price from these poor villagers.
Yuki, what do you think about what's happening?
I'm wondering if something out in that forest may have grabbed the sorcerer, and that's why things are going a little crazy.
A mix of all this, too.
So, what is your plan?
And also Arameus's player, she would call Arameus sweetheart, not tiny.
I know. Face is small, and I'm gonna change my name back so you know it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Dork. I know it's Dork Princess. Like, I'm dumb. Arameus, do you have any ideas what you think might be happening?
It's not here.
Have they gotten back to us yet? There might still be.
Oh yeah, they're still in the inn. Oops.
Yeah, still in the inn.
Where do you think Aaron is? Oh wait, they're not here.
Their ears twitched. Did someone talk to me?
Oh, whoops! We forgot about Hermes not being here again. Same with us.
So basically, you guys have left the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll head and let Arameus know what's going on, so she's not.
Or they.
Back to the inn.
Wait a minute.
Meanwhile, back
Okay,
at the
sorry.
inn.
Just
So you get there, and everybody gets caught up. We'll just say that. So now, what do you do?
I think we've talked to who it was that he suggested for finding our way through the forest.
Yeah, we Coral. We should talk to Coral. We should talk to Carl.
Shepherds that helped us.
So you look around, and there are several shepherds there. I assume you're going around going, "Excuse me, are you Coral?" And
Was
then
he
they-
one of?
Hmm?
Was he one of the ones that helped us? Like we helped?
No.
Okay.
He's a different one.
Mm.
Tiny is
So-
going to basically stand up and basically declare in a very loud voice, basically so everyone in the tavern can hear. We seek the assistance of Coral. Are they here?
I had to do this at a work thing recently.
So just one guy, a fairly older guy with a long white beard, stands up straight, doesn't show any signs of being arthritic or anything like that. He's just old. He also looks like his skin is made out of leather. He's been out in the sun so long. Kind of goes, "Yeah, I'm Coral. What's up?"
Howdy. Well, we're here to help with the wolf problem, and we've heard you can help us out.
So you're the adventurers, huh? Well, you can see my body ain't much good in a fight, but I do know a fair bit of the woods and the hills around this place.
That's all we need.
And
Believe
I
me.
kinda got a few ideas about where those wolves might be hiding.
I'd love to hear them because honestly, with all of the puzzle pieces we have, we're not sure what the frick this picture is.
You and the rest of this town, me included. So let me tell you what. If you guys want to follow me, I'll show you where you can begin searching. But you're going to have to look for tracks and such, because I have not been about to go out in those woods by myself to go hunt anything down. I can just give you a starting point or two.
If
For
only
you
we had a
alone-
ranger in this party. Oh wait.
Well, lucky for you, I'm a Gloomstalker Fey Hunter Ranger, so you're talking to the right lady for the job.
That's so.
Okay, thank you. I did not understand the joke.
If that's so. Well then, Miss Gloomstalker Ranger, you follow
Have
me and I'll
fun.
show you about what direction you need to head to maybe get to those wolves without their party seeing you. Unless you thought they weren't going to have patrols.
Oh, I bet they do, knowing that they have other tactics. Patrols are probably normal for normal wolves.
Fair enough. He slings his backpack over his shoulder, grabs his walking stick, and then starts walking out of the place. He goes, "You follow me or not, but I'm about to head out there."
Magpie follows and motions everyone else to come with her.
Yep.
Oh, we're following, and will this make a good cut-off point?
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, this is the end of part 2 to Season 7 of the Bastard Smalls. Bloody hell, we're making progress. So, join us next time for the final part. Be good, be well, and be careful in the woods. Bye now.
Screwed.
Anywhere.